There we go. All right, thank you so much for having me, Bronx Community Board 7. It's always great to talk to the community here, and thank you so much for having me again, especially so soon, to share some very important information about the services that we provide. For a quick introduction, my name is Ryan Areco. I'm a Community Affairs Associate for the New York City Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. And today I will be sharing information about our free tax prep program, as well as some of our other financial empowerment programs, which I also shared some information about in the presentation we gave in, I believe it was December. Once again, we are led by Commissioner Sam Levine. He is our new commissioner, and we're really excited to be working with him and continuing the work of DCWP. And to begin, actually, the mission of DCWP is to protect and enhance the daily economic lives of every New Yorker to create thriving communities. And we do this in a myriad of ways. We enforce a lot of the consumer and worker laws in the city, whether that be the right to paid time off, the right to a consistent work schedule, and we also license a lot of the businesses that you'll see walking down the street, including paid tax preparers, which is something that I'll mention later on, is that paid tax preparers have to be licensed by DCWP. And we also have financial services such as our own free tax prep program and financial empowerment centers. And all of our services are available to every New Yorker, regardless of immigration status. So, to begin, the free tax prep program has been operating now for over 10 years, and it is a really great program for us. We have volunteers who are certified by the IRS and can be found in more than 100 sites across the city, in many community organizations that you may even know the names of. And these volunteers work with anybody who makes an appointment, who walks into the door to file their taxes for free as long as they meet the income requirements. For families, that's an income of $97,000 or less, or for single filers, that is an income of $68,000 or less. And obviously, the most important part of the free tax program is that it is free. There are many tax providers out there or tax preparers out there who will charge you for their services. They will ask for a cut of your refund, or they will ask for an upfront fee, or maybe even forms of a loan that you will then receive later. You'll have to pay back later through your refund. We don't do any of that. Our services are completely free, and we make sure that everybody who uses our service gets the highest refund possible, taking advantage of all of the tax credits that people are eligible for, whether that be the earned income tax credit, or the child tax credit, or the child care and dependent care credit. We make sure that everybody who is eligible for every kind of tax credit gets those benefits and gets the biggest refund that they possibly can. And the way to apply for the tax prep program is through nyc.gov/tax prep, which is a website that I will be repeating a lot through the presentation, but it is always good to have that in mind that that is the exact website. All right, so here are the four methods through which you can file your taxes with the free tax prep program. There's the in-person option where you can sit down directly with one of our volunteer preparers in person. You'll bring all your documents and you will work through it with the preparer, and then they will file the taxes for you. This can be booked by going on our website, looking at the map of all of the sites and where they exist, and then checking in with that specific site that may be closest to you or the one that you want to go to that has the specific services that you want to take advantage of, and booking an appointment with them either through phone or through their website if they have that option. We also have the drop-off service where you are able to go to one of these tax sites and drop off your documents and then pick up the return later when it is completed in full by the tax preparer. And then we also have virtual tax prep, which is sort of like the in-person tax prep where you are, meeting with a preparer, but it's online or over the phone. We want to make sure that this service is accessible to everybody. So we offer this virtual tax prep program, although there are also certain income requirements to the virtual program as well. And be sure to look at the map and all of the specific requirements of what each site can offer consumers. And it's always great to note that our online services are completely safe and reliable. And yes. And then there's also the fourth option, which is the assisted self-preparation, where you can do your own taxes essentially using one of our free filing softwares, but you can also call or email one of our volunteers for assistance with the filing of taxes so that just so that you can make sure that you are, taking advantage of those credits like I mentioned and getting the biggest refund that you possibly can. So these are the documents that we will ask you to bring to one of your tax prep appointments. Obviously, a photo ID. We do accept ID NYC at these appointments. Your tax ID, whether that's your social security number or your ITIN number, your individual taxpayer identification number. And it is also good to note that some sites will be able to assist with the application for an ITIN. We are advising, however, that everybody who needs to apply for an ITIN seek legal counsel before doing so. And we have a full FAQ on our website also about the ITINs and also about tax credits as well. And I can share those out with the community board after this presentation is over. We will also ask you to bring proof of income, of course, whether that's your W-2, your 1098 or 1099, and income and expense records if you are self-employed. We'll also ask you to bring childcare expenses if you have children, because they are often deductible. And those can be everything from babysitting costs to the actual costs of, having your child go to a daycare or childcare center. So make sure to keep the receipts of those expenses for sure, but know that those may be able to be deducted from your taxes and to bring proof of that. We'll also ask you to bring your bank account information, especially for this year, as the federal government just instituted a change. They will not be sending out your tax return refunds via a check. It will not be coming to you in a physical format. They will only accept methods such as direct deposit and bank transfers this year. So that is a really great thing to know that direct deposit is more important than ever, perhaps, and to bring your bank account information to this appointment as well. And then if you are married and you are filing your taxes jointly, to make sure that you have the signatures of both of your spouses that can sign off on all of the tax documents in your appointment. And once again, for a list of additional documents, you can also visit our website at nyc.gov/taxprep. Our services are also available in a myriad of languages, pretty much all of the major languages that exist in New York City, whether that's Spanish, Bengali, Chinese, French, um, and many of the tax sites offer the languages that anybody who could walk in would need. But if, for instance, there is a language that you speak and it is not accessible through a specific tax site, you can use the language line system through New York City government, which allows you to connect to a translator within the city government. Okay, and we also have some consumer tips for those who may use paid tax preparers. Um, let's say you don't qualify for the actual free tax prep programs. Maybe your income is beyond what we accept, and you may have to use a paid tax preparer. You also have rights, and we want to make sure that these consumers know that. So, for instance, you have the right to receive a copy of your tax return prepared at the time the original is filed or given to you to file. And tax preparers must sign every tax return that they prepare. You also have the right to receive an itemized receipt of the services that you paid for, as well as the name of the tax preparer, the date that the tax preparation happened, and the location, of course. And you also have the right for your personal documents to be returned to you upon request. Um, unless the tax preparer is specifically permitted to keep such papers under New York state law, is one exception to that rule. And it is illegal for a tax preparer to charge a fee based on the amount of tax that you owe or the refund you will receive. So they cannot scale the fee that you will be charged based on how much you will be receiving in that refund. It has to be a flat rate. They also cannot ask you to sign a blank or incomplete tax return or alter a tax return after you have already signed it, unless you have given written consent. And also, there are a few other things which it is illegal for a tax preparer to do. And so I will share our full consumer bill of rights for those who are using paid tax preparers after the presentation as well. There are some other things that anybody who is using those services will want to look at. Um, we also would like to put out a warning about our refund anticipation loans or refund advance loans, which are called RALs. So this is something that paid tax preparers might use to try and incentivize you to use their service because it sounds really nice. There's actually a tax preparer near my apartment that hands out flyers that says, "Oh, you can get a cash advance of up to $7,000 for using our service." That sounds very attractive. But what they have to reveal to you when you are trying to use the service is that it's actually a loan that you will eventually have to pay off. Um, so it is essentially a loan amount that is a portion of your estimated tax refund, and the loan term is usually less than 1 month, which is the anticipated time for the tax preparer to receive your full refund. And then the tax preparer will deduct that loan amount and any interest or fees from your full refund, and then give you any remaining money. It may be based on documents that are not considered final as well, such as a pay stub and not a W-2. And your final tax return must include your final financial statements. And if your refund is less than expected, it might not be enough to end up paying this RAL. Um, and you would still be responsible for paying off all of the loan. So that's why it is kind of a risky thing. But it is very important to note that it is just in advance and nobody can give you immediate access to your tax refund. And also, tax preparers cannot force you into this RAL agreement. Um, I also wanted to note one last thing about RALs is that they often can come with high interest rates, including those that are often marketed as free, and other refund advance products can also have fees. So definitely be careful with any situation where it says that there will be a cash advance or a refund advance. And there are also certain regulations around RALs, which are also in the Consumer Bill of Rights for paid tax preparers. And if you see any tax preparers that are using kind of predatory language around RALs, you can file a complaint with us actually at DCWP um, at our website, which is nyc.gov/DCWP. Continuing on, we also have the tax preparation service for self-employed filers. Um, so once again, you have to meet the income requirements, but if you own your own business, you can also file with us as long as the business expenses are less than $250,000. But there are also different categories of self-employed people, which are, those who maybe drive their own truck as part of a truck company, or they work as a delivery worker for an app, or they have a cleaning service that is not officially, registered as an LLC, but is still a job that somebody is doing. These are all kind of categories that would fall into self-employment, and there are very specific things that anybody who is self-employed can speak to the tax sites about to fully understand their employment and what their requirements are for filing taxes. So we actually offer workshops that are specifically tailored to those who are self-employed, where they can learn the basics of tax filing and the best practices of record keeping, and where they can also access toolkits to get record keeping templates and more tips and get connected to other free city services and resources to help build assets and grow your business, especially through our financial empowerment centers, as well as the Department of Small Business Services, which does a lot of work, a lot of great work with our small businesses in New York City. And specifically, when you use the map of our free tax prep sites, you're going to want to look out for sites that offer self-employed or Schedule C assistance. So it will specify that when you are looking at the sites. And for the workshops and the toolkits, there are no income limits that apply to those. So anybody who is self-employed can access those. Another good thing to note. All right, and as I have, said a lot throughout the presentation, there is a whole map of our free tax prep sites. To find the best tax site nearest to you that is the best fit for you, you can call 311 and ask for tax preparation, or you can visit nyc.gov/tax prep and you can find our map of tax sites. Once again, there's more than 130 sites across the entire city. Now, to end off the presentation, I wanted to talk a little bit about our financial empowerment centers, which offer free one-on-one financial counseling for anybody who would like to do so. And those services are offered in person or over the phone, and there are no income requirements to this service whatsoever. So anybody who is over the age of 18 can access this service. They can they can work one-on-one with a financial counselor through these services, and they can learn such helpful things as creating a budget, learning how to manage debts. They can also learn how to or break down things such as student loans. I definitely like to spread awareness for students in the community who may be unaware that this service is out there and exists and is available for them to understand student loans and really creating a plan, a strategic plan for how to tackle those expenses. And of course, they can refer anybody to other services. Let's say you're a business owner and you want to take advantage of this financial counseling. They can also refer you to, once again, the Department of Small Business Services, or they can refer you to the NYC Free Tax Prep Program as well. And yeah, this is basically what I was saying. But also, they can help you to establish or improve credit. They can also help you open a safe and affordable bank account. We have the NYC Safe Start program, which allows New Yorkers to open a bank account that has a very low minimum daily balance of just $25 for the most part. Um, to help New Yorkers save money, avoid large fees, and to make sure that they are, generating wealth over time. And also, our Workforce One centers across the city. Also, there are a few that have financial empowerment centers within them as well. And this is kind of a newer initiative that we started in the last year. So there are 10 financial counselors placed in Workforce One centers across the city. So there's two in the Bronx, two in Brooklyn, two in Manhattan, one in Staten Island, two in Queens, and then one specifically in the Queens Industrial and Transportation Center. And this can also, you can also get more information about this through our website as well. And finally, that concludes the presentation. I want to, thank Bronx CB7 again for having me and allowing me to share this information with the community. If you have any further questions, if there are any questions in the audience right now, I can answer them. But also feel free to email any questions to our community affairs email, which is on screen. You can also call 311 to talk to our hotline and get more information about these DCWP programs. You can also once again visit our website or follow us on Instagram and other social media platforms to keep in touch about everything DCWP related. Thank you so much.